I mean, you drop your phone up, intro the show. Me. Look presentable. Me. What? I mean, just welcome back to Run the North. Golly, it's been a while since the three of us have sat here together. Um, quite frankly, too long. Some
Since
would
night
say.
one of the
Some
draft,
would
man.
say it's been too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, night one of the draft was last time we all sat here while I was eating Chipotle and I watched. I don't know. I'm not too mad about what happened on draft night, but it was almost a month ago at this point. So that's that. We'll talk about the NBA, NHL playoffs, the MLB. Talk about a specific team who might be on pace to be the worst ever, and then we'll talk. I guess about the NFL. Not really much of a plan here today, boys, but yeah. How you boys doing?
I'm tired. I'm really tired. I'm in a new house, if that's not apparent. It's been a long 2 weeks, man. I was telling Geek the other night when we had D&D that I spent damn near 7 days in a Best Western back to back because we couldn't move into our house because it had to pass
Western.
It had to pass a lead inspection.
Not Best Western.
Yeah, so we were holed up at a Best Western. Mind you, the worst part, it was everyone in my family except for the older of my two younger sisters because she was staying at a friend's house. So it was 4 people cooped up in a single room at a Best Western for nearly a week. That was my personal hell.
Yeah, I mean that's brutal. Yeah, I mean I don't really know what to say other than I'm sorry. That's just...
okay. It's okay. We got out of the evil ass Best Western. We're here. I'm still having
the evil hotel is nothing compared to the evil cauldron, though. So
true. I have not.
We still face the evil cauldron. Yes.
Yeah.
One day.
You have to figure out how to conquer. Good God.
Conquer the evil. Big evil cauldron.
Yeah.
God knows what
we gotta save the dogs, bro.
I had to speak with Grayson for like 3 hours before this podcast. I'm not doing good. My mental health is at an all-time low.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm surprised you haven't jumped out your window yet.
I thought about it. The issue is the ground. So I'm not on like a very high floor, but I'm not on a low floor. The issue is the floor below me has an outcropping right there. So I'd only fall like a story. That's not even going to break a bone.
Bro,
like, it'd be a waste of time.
You live in Denver, bro. That you have no limit to how high you can get.
That's true. True.
I mean, dude, you're
right.
Yeah.
You're right about that part, though. I may have to.
I'm just saying, man. You have no excuses anymore. You don't live in the lowlands of Wyoming anymore.
Have to walk to a dispensary. Next week for Run the North, I'm just going to be high as a kite. Let's go.
That wasn't really what I was going for, but hey, man, you do you.
Hey, man, you brought up Colorado and high. What did you expect?
Mile High Stadium?
Certainly not a batting average.
Damn.
Bang! Sorry.
So we talking about baseball first, huh?
I guess so. Hey,
hey, we won yesterday.
Welcome to the MLB. Yeah, what happened the day before?
That's not even the worst loss I've seen them have in the last 3 years.
Welcome to the MLB, where teams like the Rockies lose 21-0.
Okay, so you know what fucks me up? We lost to the Padres 21-0, and the pitcher for the Padres that day was the worst starter in their rotation. He won a complete game shutout.
The best pitcher in Colorado.
But then Sunday, the best pitcher by far in the Padres rotation gets fucking smoked by the Rockies because this team makes no fucking sense.
Miller, you had a hand raised.
Yeah, what do you want?
Geek already answered my question, but he said they won, so I was going to ask if they went up against the school for the deaf and blind, but apparently they beat the Padres, so.
The Rockies play today.
Who would win? The 2020
Colorado
Rockies
or 13 Helen Kellers?
You know who lost today? The Rockies.
The Rockies. Yeah.
Not the Jays. They didn't play today.
Fork founded kitchen.
The Rockies lost to the Texas Rangers.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's the thing about the MLB is that there's a team currently, Geek's favorite team, that is on pace to be the worst baseball team ever, other than like the Cleveland Spiders in 18 whatever it was.
I think we're on pace to be worse than them.
Let's go! Shout out the Cleveland Spiders.
I did the math yesterday. They're on pace.
They went 20 and 134. We're on pace for, I guess we'd be slightly better.
You would be slightly better. I think you're on pace for 23 wins.
What is the Rockies' current win percentage?
That wasn't even including the win yesterday, so you might even have a better chance of beating the Cleveland Spiders now.
Maybe.
How many games are in a baseball season now?
162.
So, yeah.
They're on pace to win 23.
23 of them?
They're on pace to win 23 by their current run of games.
Yeah.
The White Sox last year won 40 or something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, people talked about that like it was the end times.
Because it was. Leaving out the Cleveland Spiders, so they just did the 1900 to now. The White Sox are the worst team to ever live, and it's going to last a year because the Rockies are going to beat them at being the worst.
That's really sad.
Which is nuts.
And you know what's more nuts? There were more people at the game that was 21-0 than I think have been at any singular Blue Jays game all year. There were 40,000 people in the stands to watch them lose 21-0.
In all fairness, didn't you say that the Rockies Stadium has like the best bar in Colorado?
Yeah,
that's
also,
why everyone's there?
From the time the gates open until first pitch, that bar serves beers for $3. That is why everybody's there.
People were drunk off their asses. They didn't even know baseball was happening.
A 21-0 game must have really had the drinks flowing early. That's just.
Dude, it was 19-0 in the fourth inning.
I cannot imagine what those bartenders went through. I don't even want to think about it.
Just think of how much they got tipped. You know how rich those bartenders were walking home that night?
They probably got a lot of money. But it's just so funny imagining like a 19-0 fourth inning, just a bunch of dudes in Colorado just absolutely hammered, just like
You have to be, dude. How do you not?
And listen, and the Rockies didn't even give those drunk guys one run to cheer about.
No.
Not even a single one.
You know what they did give them?
Didn't have a single reason to be happy.
A 35-year-old catcher pitched for 2 innings and didn't give up a hit or a run. Because when you're losing that bad, you don't want to actually waste relief pitchers only pitch so many innings in a year. You don't want to waste an actual pitcher on a game that genuinely doesn't matter. Brenton Doyle and Ryan McMahon, the two Rockies who are like their currently best players, got pulled out of the game in the fourth inning because we lost. We're not going to risk them getting hurt. Go sit on the bench.
Wow.
Yeah.
Defeatist mentality.
Exactly. That's why they lost so many
fourth
games.
Inning, you have 5 more
putting in position players.
Unlimited home runs.
Well, no, he is by far our best pitcher this year. He's pitched 2 innings, hasn't given up a hit. He should be the Cy Young.
I fear there are pitchers whose teams are not 6-win teams. So I will.
Yeah, but he's pitching better than them. Those people are giving up hits.
When you said Cy Young, you lagged a little bit on my end, so I just heard the Cy Young, and I was like, why would he become blue?
Not back to color theory on this show. Not back to color theory. Oh, no.
But yeah, as of yesterday, the Jays are back to 500. It's been a weird season for them, man. It's the same thing every year. Just mediocre, never good enough to make a run at the division. Never bad enough to. I don't even know how the MLB draft works. Is that a lottery too?
So the Rockies until the last 2 years, and yes, it is a lottery.
Yeah, I mean, but the Jays have actually
don't get the
won a
first
playoff game in the past decade, so there's that.
Hey, man, so did the Rockies.
We don't acknowledge that.
They beat the Cubs in the wild card. In 2019.
That was back when they didn't exist. Yeah, I mean that was pre them existing. 2020 is when they really came onto the scene.
Okay, dude. No.
So they were 1 year off from making it into my headcanon. Sorry.
Bro, forgot about 2007.
The
The only time the Rockies were ever good. Like, actually good. They made it to the World Series. The issue is they were so good that they lost. So that sounds really weird. They swept through the playoffs. So, 7-game series type stuff.
And you get rusty when you rest.
They swept through the playoffs. The Red Sox, who won out of the AL, went 7 games in both series. So the Rockies had 2 weeks of rest between their final playoff game and the start of the World Series, and the Red Sox only got a day. So the Red Sox never cooled down. The Rockies, the hottest team in baseball, didn't play baseball for 2 weeks and then got smoked in the World Series because that's what happens when you don't play baseball for 2 weeks.
Wow. Should have trained harder.
Yes, man.
I have but a theory about this. Could it be possible that the Rockies just simply weren't good enough to win the World Series?
No. The Red Sox weren't good enough. That's why they needed 7 games to beat lesser competition all the time.
Remind me who did win the World Series.
We don't acknowledge the Red Sox.
To me, like a team that's good enough to win the World Series, seeing as they did.
Hey, man, has your team ever even made it to the World Series?
They've won one. So, yeah.
Fuck.
They have more rings than your team does. So
how did we let Canada beat us? This isn't okay.
I forget who they beat. It was in the 90s.
This is why I don't
was Roy Halladay
baseball.
still on that team?
I don't know. I was negative. I was negative like 70.
Well, I figured you were gonna do the thing where you cling to that team like football fans do, even if like the team won before they were alive. They know everything about them.
No, not at all. Really.
Okay, I didn't know. I was just curious.
Not as invested in the Jays
do that.
as other teams. I cling to the 2019 Raptors for the most part.
Of course.
Because my baby boy. It was 1 year ago yesterday, as we're filming this, that he single-handedly sent Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid home.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it.
Hopefully, I get to cling to this year as the first time I witnessed one of my teams win a championship.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. They're playing currently, I think.
Oh, fuck, are
weird
they?
Series. I'm not even sure either team's cracked 100 yet in the series. It's just been a
they are playing currently, and it's 9-9.
The Warriors.
But no Steph.
What round are we in? The Warriors made it past the first round?
Semifinals. Yeah. They beat the 2-seed Rockets because the Rockets are the classic. We're so good, but we're also so young and don't know what the playoffs are.
Yeah.
And the Warriors were like, grr, Steph Curry and Draymond Green have 4 rings, grr.
Yeah. I was going to say, isn't that team just Curry and a band of misfits at this point?
Hey, Jimmy Butler's there. Respect Jimmy Buckets.
He's a dog.
I have nothing but respect for my beloved king and goat Jimmy Butler.
Anyway,
I thought that was a Jordan statue back there. I'm not going to lie.
Jimmy G Buckets, baby.
Yeah, Jimmy Buckets. Draymond is a dog on defense still, and he's for some reason started to make threes, which is terrifying.
What?
But
it's okay because he keeps getting himself kicked out of games because he's stupid.
What's his name?
This is fork founding pitching again.
Pods is good.
But
they have a podcast now?
They're not gonna I wish. Well, Draymond might.
I think he definitely does.
He did. I think he canceled it because he was getting yelled at.
I was going to say, he's too opinionated to not have a podcast.
Well, that was also one of the funniest NBA stories out there currently, is Paul George said he was stepping away from his podcast until his team was in the contending spot. And then 4 weeks later, he was just like, hey, guys, I'm back.
Me, Paul.
They got
they
lost.
He barely lasted a month. They're not in contention.
Hey, podcast addictions are real, man. He relapsed. It's a real thing.
True. Yeah.
Look at Geek. He's got 6 of them.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Talking about how you're a podcast addict.
True.
I guess.
Get some help, brother. Get some help.
There are resources.
Maybe I'm gonna start another one just because fuck you. That's why.
One for every day of the week. No.
True.
Were you gonna do a podcast
in 2 days
left?
There's lots of people.
Sam?
Yeah. That would be a wild podcast.
A show of just Geek, Sam, and Grayson.
No,
they tell Grayson it's a real show, but then it ends up just being every episode Geek and Sam just write down all the things that make them angry about him, that week, and then they just read them off.
Either that or a show where it's taken 100% serious. Grayson is like the host, like your role, where he introduces everything, transitions through everything. He introduces ideas, and it's just like 2 hours of Geek and Sam telling him why all of his ideas are terrible.
That'd be incredible.
All right, I figured we'd get into talking about some D&D stuff. No, that's not.
No, that's a horrible idea.
No, you don't know how to play a paladin. Shut the fuck up.
Oh my god.
Exactly. See,
I can't imagine what would happen to Miller if suddenly Wonder played Rakes like next week. Nobody else would get to do anything. Everything would just be ended because the paladin actually remembered how to paladin. It's tough. Playing D&D with a real functional paladin gets kind of annoying. They're so good at everything, those bastards.
I'm grateful that the only paladins I've been around were incompetent.
But NBA stuff. Knicks are up 3-1. Took down the Celtics at MSG today.
Let's go.
Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum blew out his Achilles. So that does not seem to be. Things don't seem to be going Boston's way.
Cat versus the Wolves in the NBA Finals is going to go hard as shit, dude.
Yeah, so the thing is...
Cry so hard.
The thing is with...
Ant better, though. Ant better than everyone who's ever played for the Knicks ever. Guarantee it.
Ewing?
I would
stand by
have
it.
to raise a certain number 1 overall pick that they had that changed their franchise completely. Patrick Ewing.
Yo, that's who Miller just said. I'm going with no.
What about that Mello fella?
No.
Mello
doesn't know how to play defense.
No one does anymore. It's the modern NBA.
That's just untrue. You just don't watch basketball.
You're right.
The difference is it doesn't matter how good a defense you play when Steph Curry just shoots in triple coverage and makes it any fucking ways.
Yeah,
I got an offensive lineman playing for the Lakers getting blown by ants on every position. So let's not talk about defense. Even worth the number for it. It's crazy.
What?
Why is he looking at me like that? Call him Luka fat.
See the light?
Why is the light doing that? I'm doing the Nico Harrison, Lucas fat.
I have this.
What?
It just I didn't expect it. It looked cool as shit.
Speaking of Nico Harrison.
Yeah, what the fuck?
The NBA draft lottery was today, and the Dallas Mavericks, with a 1.8% chance to get the first overall pick, and now have the right to draft Cooper Flag. The Spurs will pick second. I believe the 76ers are third. Well, they're not picking second. They're going to trade it away, most likely.
For Giannis,
Giannis will probably be a Spur. I mean, it makes too much sense. And it is going to happen, most likely.
I'll start caring about basketball next year when I'm a fan.
And the Hornets have to pick fourth, dude. And
shocker.
And yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, the Jazz got bumped out of the top 4 after just the horrendous season they had. They're just in shambles. The Wizards, who were the actual worst team in basketball, had to drop down to 6, which just is terrible for them. They were tied for the highest odds to get Cooper Flag, and they dropped to 6. So brutal for them. But yeah, we're gonna see Cooper Flag in the Dallas Mavericks uniform, all but certain now. And Nico Harrison has been rewarded for doing what he did. So far, hey, listen.
It doesn't look bad in actuality so far, and I hate it.
It's starting to. I don't like that the universe is doing this, but it's starting to seem like the Luka thing wasn't the worst idea in the world.
Especially the whole he's out of shape thing, and then watching the fourth quarter of every game against the Timberwolves when Luka was a liability because he was tired. Like,
I liken it to he went in the fourth quarter. He looks like a middle-aged white dude who's played too many pickup games on a Saturday.
Yeah, dude, he actually does.
He's just like wheezing and not really getting back on defense. His shots are putting up are just lazy. Like it just
him and Ant are like in the category of guys who are supposed to be the face of the NBA moving forward, and just watching them both in fourth quarters of games, seeing how one looks like a professional athlete and one just looks like a random white dude you pulled out of the crowd. It's a little rough. It does not look great.
Talking about face of the NBA stuff, because I'll never forget there was a clip from this year. So I love Scotty Barnes with my entire heart. He's the franchise player for the
Mhm.
Raptors. He's very good. And there was a clip this year where Darko, their coach, got super mad at somebody criticizing him as the reporter, and Darko's like, he can barely speak English, and he just kind of sat there and pounded the table, going, "Scotty's the face of the NBA. He's the face of the NBA. You don't understand. He is this league." And everyone's just kind of sitting there like, okay,
You guys
buddy.
don't get
Like,
it.
No, it's if Wemby
you
gets
understand, he
healthy
is
again,
face of the league, and like,
it's Wemby, Ant, or SGA, and it'll end up being Wemby or Ant because too many people hate the way SGA plays basketball.
out of those three, it has to be Ant. We must not have a Canadian or a Frenchman be the face
agree.
of our league. Can't happen. Can't happen.
It should
Can't
be
happen.
Ant.
As the biggest French hater on this podcast, it needs to be Wemby. He's the only good one as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
If he was playing for literally any other team,
I can't believe you'd say that about Michael Jordan's son, that the Frenchman is better.
Michael Jordan doesn't have any kids that play basketball.
Yeah,
His
Anthony
son was in
Edwards.
Sinners.
All right.
That's okay.
In all seriousness, though, like the whole Cooper Flag thing, isn't he a really good defender? I didn't watch the tournament this year because North Carolina was irrelevant. But isn't he like actually a really good defender?
Yes.
I don't know.
I know he was hurt early.
Cooper Flag is the best way I can describe him. He's just like a tall, athletic freak who can guard 1 through 5, and is an elite scorer from anywhere on the court.
So wasn't Nico Harrison one of his points that he wanted the team to get better defensively, and he didn't see that happening with Luka?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, no, it's weirdly working out. Nico Harrison's going to end up a genius.
The second that Luka got traded, the Mavs defense was nuts. That just putting it out there. The second he got traded this year, the Mavs were bad on offense because AD was hurt most of the time and Kyrie was hurt. But their defense, something about it, man.
We're looking back in 3 years and, throwing him into the list of names that were batshit insane but became geniuses, because that's how it usually goes. Every insane person not named Kanye West ends up looking like a genius in the end. That's... Oh my god.
He's probably going to be in those conversations. Yeah.
I love not caring about that. Also, I just want to say real quick.
Next are up 3. Yes.
I just want to say real quick. I don't mean what I said about the French, because it just occurred to me that they were like important during the Revolutionary War, and that matters to me. So shout out to the French. They're the reason we have a country.
Yes. Knicks up 3-1. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges has been crazy this playoff run. Perfect addition to the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson, without having to be big man number 1 on the team, has really been
Mikal's not the bad one, right?
on the offensive boards. Mikal?
No, that's Miles Bridges.
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
The bad one is the one that's on the Hornets.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Well, I didn't know if he got traded, because I know they tried.
Grayson and Miller knew that.
I don't think so. Yeah, no, it's Miles Bridges.
He didn't. No, he's yeah, Miles. Anyway, the Knicks are awesome, dude. Jalen Brunson is a baller. Overall, like, Mikal's been an awesome addition. The Nova boys are good.
Big year for Villanova.
They're like, listen, man. A certain recently elected official in the Catholic Church went to Villanova. It might be over for the NBA. This might be the year.
For this year, at least.
I'm going to have to root real hard for the Pacers, because I don't want to see them in the finals.
The Pope bump is just too much,
We ran about the interim coach bump. The Pope bump is
Pope bump,
a different level. I need that for Chicago.
I was gonna say, you should be all in on the Pope bump theory, because you've got
the Knicks to win the finals.
You've got your mental health
is real.
Yeah, you've got your mental health this fall riding on the Pope bump existing, so you should really be all in on it.
Well, not really. It's more the Ben Johnson bump that I'm banking on, but the Pope bump would be a nice.
I feel bad because I'm rooting for the Ben Johnson bump to be a negative.
You would.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Hand up, Miller. I hope the Ben Johnson bump is positive.
Yeah, you're a freak. Wanting good things for a team in your division, you're a freak.
Here's the thing.
Normally Miller would agree with me. He
here's the
just
thing.
somebody's complimenting the Bears, so I have to give up every moral I've ever had.
No.
No.
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, Jake, I hope the Matthew Golden bump is a net negative.
Nice.
Okay. Wow, man.
He had to go back to his correct morals, which is you're a division rival. Fuck you.
I gaslit you.
I hope. Never mind. I'm thinking too many bad things. I don't want to say any of that.
He was definitely gonna say something about ACLs.
What's bad is we've been jinxed because Kay Adams said the Vikings were winning the Super Bowl.
Oh no.
Yeah,
it's over for us.
That.
That was really funny.
They're barely going to make it out of the division alive this year. So
all right, man.
I don't think anyone's going to make it out of that division.
That's
not
fair.
Barely alive.
I
was going to say it's the toughest thing for the NFC North because
it's going to beat each other up.
We're going to probably have 3 or 4 of the best teams in the entirety of the NFC, and all 4 of them are going to get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs because they're too tired after playing each other for the 6 weeks previous. They got nothing left.
The NFC North this year is going to be used in all off season, and this is why division winners shouldn't get an automatic bid thing when the 7 and 10 Panthers make it or something.
Yeah. Because there is going to be. I have a strong feeling all of the NFC
is going to be historically bad this year outside of Tampa,
and then the NFC North is going to be all. I think each of the 4 teams is winning 10 games.
I don't even know if I'm sold on them.
I really do.
That's just. Losing Liam Cohen for Baker is rough.
Yeah, that's going to hurt
because he already had the best offensive line and still was a bozo. So
yeah,
for Liam Cohen, I don't know what you do. Anyway,
can I bring up baseball for another half a second? There's a fun statistic. The Rockies lost today after only giving up 3 hits. They had more than double the hits of the Texas Rangers and lost.
I wonder why. Maybe it's because they are a terrible baseball team.
Oh, dude. Chase Dollander pitched so well. Chase Dollander had a 1-hitter. Dollander's sick.
Trade him away. Get him out of there.
No.
Get him out of there.
No.
He doesn't deserve this.
No.
He doesn't deserve this.
You're right.
He needs to go to a real franchise. He doesn't
get him out of the
this.
trenches.
We'll be a real franchise one day. So there's actually it's weird. I follow a lot of Denver insidery people now. The owner is actually at least currently in talks to hire a president of baseball operations for the first time ever. So our owner has Jerry Jonesed it his entire career. Everything has been his thing, which isn't good. He doesn't understand baseball. Really good businessman. That's why there's still 40,000 people in the fucking place, even though we suck. But he doesn't understand baseball. He's looking at actually hiring a baseball guy. We might be okay.
Well, it's a good thing they're hiring a president of baseball operations and not a president of football operations.
True. That is true.
I'm not sure that would end well.
That would not.
Yeah, but knowing your owner, he'd probably just do it, and then they'd be sitting.
He hires John Elway.
The guy's just like, John Elway's just like, all right,
also
the formation we run in.
More legendary losing. No team has ever won less than 18 games on the road in a 162 game season. The Rockies are on pace for 8 wins outside of Coors Field.
Yeah, because when you take away the altitude, they can't hit homers. That just isn't what they do.
Well, okay. Right now it sucks because the only real baseball player we have is Brenton Doyle because everyone else is hurt. And Brenton Doyle is on a streak of stuff.
Let's play a game about the Rockies. Hey, Miller. Out of all the the major defensive statistics in the MLB, how many do you think the Rockies aren't last in?
How many are there?
The ones that I was reading, there were 6 major defensive statistics for a team.
Aren't last in?
How many are they not last in, do you think?
I'm going to say 2.
The answer is 0. They're last in every single one of them.
Oh, well.
Out of these 6 major offensive categories, how many do you think they're not last in?
I'm gonna stick with my guns and say 2.
The answer is 1, and it's home runs
Oh.
because they play at Coors Field.
What
So
are they,
there's
30th?
this sorry 30, yeah, 29th.
Was close.
While playing at Coors Field, which any respectable slugging team would be in the top 10 probably, but here
How
we
many
are.
teams are there in the MLB?
30.
30.
Oh. My brain went NFL, that's why I said 30th. I was trying to jump 2 ahead of what I thought was last.
Yeah, no, they
I
are
feel
30 out of 30 in most categories. But yeah, NBA, the Timberwolves and Warriors are playing now. The Wolves are leading 2-1 in that one, I think. And the Knicks are up 3-1, looking to put them away. Pacers got, oh my God, the Pacers got just spanked. Was that
was
the most
multiple
recent
days
game?
ago because
I
no,
can't
they
remember.
won yesterday. So that
They
was
won yesterday. Yeah, they got spanked multiple days ago, and then everybody kind of thought it was over for the Pacers once the Cavs got healthy, and then they came back and won yesterday. I don't know what the series score is right now. I think it might be 3-1 Pacers, 3-2 Pacers. They've won 3 games. I think it's 3-1.
I think it's 3-1. Also, by the way, Jake, you asked earlier, the Wolves have scored over 100 in 2 games of the 3 against the Warriors. The Warriors have not scored over 100.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, their scores have always been very low. But yeah, so because also Steph isn't playing. Maybe he's tonight, but he hasn't been in the
Steph
series.
would be back if they get to a game 6, but that's why the clip is trending of Anthony Edwards literally just saying, man, this would have been a series if Steph didn't get hurt. He's such an asshole, and I love him. Because he said that to a Warriors player on the court.
He's also right.
Not
he's
so
the
right.
entire reason they're in such control in this series is because there isn't a ungodly shooter.
Yeah, because the Wolves have been playing like shit. They're the worst shooting team in the playoffs, which is weird because they were a top 5 shooting team all year.
They cannot shoot the ball,
and they just keep beating everybody.
They're almost as bad as the Celtics from 3.
But we just play defense. That's it.
Oh yeah. See, let's see, Miller. Let's play this game. And the Celtics lost to the Knicks a couple nights ago. They shot 63s. How many do you think they made? They're an NBA team.
6.
15. You lowballed them, but they missed 45 threes.
So
okay,
I want to do that for the Timberwolves too. In the first game against the Warriors, wow, the Timberwolves shockingly only shot 29 threes. How many do you think they made?
6.
No, 5. They made 17% of their threes.
Yeah, the Celtics, I think the stat was like they took 1-2 in the third quarter of a game that they were losing. Like it
insane, dude.
They are I don't know if it's Missoula or if it's just their players, but for some reason they decide that they're the best 3-point shooting team in the league and they should only shoot them, but they're not, and they missed 45 of them at home in a playoff game. So
Draymond Green being the Warriors' leading scorer right now hurts my soul.
There's not really any other option other than Pods. So.
Jimmy Butler.
Once he's out in the second quarter for like punching a baby, he won't beat the team.
It's insane.
They've actually stopped putting babies on courtside.
Oh, okay.
They've started to prepare a little bit for Draymond's arrival in Minnesota.
I know this isn't literally a thing that happened, but I can just, for some reason, the first thing that jumped into my mind is like the cultural difference between the Warriors then and now of like people bringing their baby down, be like, Steph Curry, sign my baby. And now it's like Draymond Green, please stay away from my baby.
Yeah. The NBA playoff, the Thunder and the Nuggets, the only series that isn't 3-1 currently. If the Wolves win tonight, it'll be the only series that isn't 3-1. And yeah, I mean, Jokic has stunk. It was just sad to see, but he has.
Back-to-back stinkers.
Been good. Shai has stunk for the most part. So both teams are not getting most of their best players. I think the final score was in the 80s for both teams. The last game when the Thunder came back, but the Nuggets had a chance to make it 3-1 and blew it at the end. So that's on them. But overall, like it's been a very meh second round, or third round, second round. Just because, like, yeah, I mean the Knicks should not be up 3-1. I don't know what kind of it must be the Pope bomb because they are just.
Well, no, because they were doing this
it's
before the Pope. They're just better. They built their
I mean,
entire
they're
team
gritty.
to
Yeah.
beat the Celtics. They went out and were like, okay, Jason Tatum weirdly constantly underperforms, so all we got to do is match everybody else. Oh, they have Kristaps, a big man who can shoot. Oh, we'll just go get the greatest shooting big man to ever live. Oh, now we're better than them at their own game. It was that simple. And then they're just really good on defense.
Yeah, Jason Tatum's another perennial playoff dropper.
Mm-hmm.
He other than tonight, he's been bad against the Knicks. He completely fumbled the bag when they were down by one, and he put the ball in his hands to get it to and win the game. And he drove, had the layup, backed out of it, and then got blocked by Mikal Bridges because he backed out of a draw. It would have been a tough layup, but he should have taken it and hoped he got fouled. But he backs out and just got decked by Mikal Bridges. So that wasn't fun. But overall, the NHL playoffs have been much better so far. I know Geek's team got bounced early, but
they always do. They're the only team ever to make the playoffs 10 years in a row and get out in the first round 10 years in a row.
Yep. Capitals are in trouble. They are down 3-1 to the Hurricanes now. Ovechkin just isn't enough. And then my God, Winnipeg, dude. Connor Hellebuck he must be the Jason Tatum of NHL goalies because, dude, this dude just from the jump has been absolutely rattled the entire playoffs. He's lucky that they survived. Who did they play in the first round? The Blues. They almost had to go to 7 against the Blues as they were the number one overall seed in the entire league, and then the Blues were the last wild card team in, and they almost got beat by the Blues. Had to push that one to 7, and Connor Hellebuck, and it all falls apart. Right, they were tied 2-2 with the Stars in a game that could have put them up in the series. And Connor Hellebuck kicks a puck into his own net on a shot, scores an own goal, and then lets up 2 within the next 3 minutes of each other. And it's all of a sudden it's 5-2. He just mentally something's going on with him. He's one of the best goalies in the league. He's going to win the MVP as a goalie this year, which is unheard of. Doesn't happen ever. But he and the Stars are just really good. Mikko Rantanen, one of the craziest playoff runs we've ever seen. Just the most insane story. Gets traded to Calgary midseason. And then Calgary sends him back to the Stars division. Back to the Avalanche's division to the Stars. And then he has to play his former team who traded him after he begged to stay there, but they wouldn't pay him. And so they trade him, and he's all mad at them. And then he gets traded back to the Stars. They play him in the first round, and he just demolishes them and sends them past the Avalanche. So Mikko Rantanen having a phenomenal playoff run, continued against the Avalanche, got himself a goal. What's going on in the West? Yeah, the Oilers, I think they're playing right now. I need to make David ring like I need oxygen. Just so bad, dude. I need him to just get one. That's the biggest knock on him. He's one of the greatest hockey players of all time, but doesn't have the ring yet. One of the most talented hockey players of all time, I guess I should say. And Toronto, hey, listen, they'll find. I promise you, they will find a way to just destroy the mental health of their fan base. They will do it. I don't know how, but they will. They almost blew a 3-0 series to Ottawa. They had to scratch and claw in 6 games against Ottawa after being up 3-0. And they'll find a way to screw it up. But right now, the Maple Leafs are giving their fans hope. And isn't that what they do? Just for this to all crumble. So we'll see. Maybe by next week, by the time we record next week's episode, things could have already crumbled. So we'll check back in once we record next week. But that's what's going on in the East.
So I've been considering hockey. I was looking at, there's a website that'll tell you how depressing your life is as a sports fan. And
What's this website?
I can't remember. You just text Steven. I think he can send it to you because I don't remember. But I am thinking of, so if I stay claiming the Minnesota Wild, I've still never watched a hockey game. My life is like an F. But if I switch to either the Vancouver Canucks or the Seattle Kraken, it's an F-. And I feel like that just feels more correct.
Oh yeah, because Seattle's existed for 2 years and hasn't made the playoffs yet.
Yeah.
Or done anything. And Vancouver, can't remember the last time they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
They have won. I mean, Vancouver's won a title more recently than any of your teams.
Vancouver is, the Canucks have never won a title.
Oh, they must have lost that one.
Because I specifically looked up hockey teams that hadn't won a title.
Yeah,
just for the joke.
That's right. Vancouver. Yeah, shout out Vancouver. Bro.
I don't think the Wild have either.
And no, they probably have, or else it would be an F-. What's the difference?
No,
between them
so the issue is it also tracks like recent success, and being a playoff team 10 years in a row is like,
it's something at least.
Right.
At least, I mean, that's
it's
something. Got something in the bag.
Yeah, they got something. It's just like the Vikings kind of keep it a little higher just because they're like never awful, you know? So
until this year. Yep.
All right, man.
Sorry. I think the Vikings should drop the entire report card to an F- just solely because they lost to Daniel Jones in a playoff game.
Honestly, I agree.
That should be the nail in the coffin for that report card, I would say.
Oh, that sucks.
No,
this website, it doesn't have college basketball.
I don't think
if it had college basketball, yours would skyrocket.
Yeah, you'd be the happiest person here. We're trying to be depressed, not happy.
All right, so all I can
especially
do
because my college basketball team hasn't made the NCAA tournament in God knows how long.
The only two I can do are the Spurs and the Bears.
You could just pick a baseball team.
The Spurs don't count for me really because I wasn't a fan of them when they were like dominant. So it's telling me I'm a happy fan.
I mean,
I'm a happy fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me.
I mean, hey, you've seen your team play in a Super Bowl.
No, I didn't.
No, he hasn't.
I was alive for it. I didn't watch it.
He was alive.
I was 4.
Definitely. He must have been too young.
I was 4. I was in bed by kickoff.
I've consciously watched my team play in the Super Bowl. I remember every second of watching that game with my family.
Closest I got was the Minneapolis Miracle.
Mine would be really good.
I thought we were a team of destiny.
The Packers, the Raptors have won a title in the past decade.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays and the Sharks have both been bad recently, but the Blue Jays have a World Series at least.
And the Blue Jays have also been good in the last decade.
Yeah, I mean they've won playoff games and they've been in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think 5 times in the last 10 years. The Sharks have been in the playoffs too, and they've had some crazy wins, but they've never sniffed a cup.
I just wonder which one of us is going to see one of our teams win a championship first.
Well, currently you're in the best position,
right? Because the
only team out of ours who's still alive in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Unless Miller claims one of the alive hockey teams randomly for no reason.
I mean, you could just claim a hockey team.
Listen, I'm not going to claim a team I'm not going to watch.
That's fair. You should claim a baseball team, though, because most people don't watch
unless
baseball.
Miller just claims the Winnipeg Jets randomly when he wakes up tomorrow. I don't think we're good.
Listen,
he's not claiming a Canada team. I know that.
I was going to say number 1 because
I know that.
Number 2 because I just had to Google when you said Winnipeg earlier. I said, where the fuck is a Winnipeg? And I had to Google it. I didn't know it was in Canada.
That's nuts.
It is.
I'm sorry. I don't care about what they do up there. Not up there. I care about what goes on up there and beyond the
attic?
gates of the Lord.
What's going on in the
No, I
attic?
meant up there as in Canada.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Nuts.
No disrespect to Canada. I just kind of out of my list of priorities. I got more important things to worry about.
Name one.
Yeah, pick a baseball team though.
Unpacking these boxes would probably be up there.
No, you should be thinking about Canada before you unpack any boxes.
Dude. Think about Canada while you unpack the boxes. Unpack
Dude,
while unpacking.
Yeah.
I'll be watching anime while I unpack the boxes, I would imagine.
Are there any animes about Canada?
Probably, but I'm not going to watch them. Oh,
True.
dude, that reminds me. Dude, I am so pissed. I ordered a poster that's going to go right there. And it's this baller anime poster from my favorite anime, right?
Sure.
And it was supposed to come in today, and it got sent back to the post office because their address hasn't been updated yet.
Nice. Right there is in the wall or the closet door?
The closet door, because that one doesn't get covered up.
Okay.
The front part.
So why do you have one door open? All
just
times?
because I've been pulling stuff in and out of it, and
yeah, but you went and fixed it earlier and still left a side open.
My jersey's on display.
All right, man.
What, is it bothering you?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go shut it?
No, I was just curious because that's just I don't know.
I think it's bothering him. It's clear that he's
Everything bothers me.
Do you want me to get up and close the closet door?
No, it's okay.
Are you afraid Grace to jump out of it and scare you?
Kinda.
If Geek was ever sent to the void, it would just be him staring at open closet doors.
Honestly, maybe.
That would be his trauma, apparently.
It's another thing that pisses me off. I got spoiled for fucking Thunderbolts because I didn't watch it one of the first 3 days it came out.
Oh,
I still stand by that reveal. You should have just known was going to be something.
Even if I did, I still would have liked to have.
Oh, I agree. I think it was dumb to do it that early. I don't know why.
That was my point with that. It's just they revealed that there's.
I agree that part.
Yeah, so
really, I kind of figured that was all building to, but I still would have liked to actually.
It bugs me that they're calling it New Avengers because that's just not right. You have the members of the team to just actually be the Dark Avengers. Just go with the name that already exists for these people.
Also,
you fucks.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying. Okay,
Miller, where's the thing?
I think we have a deal to make.
Uh-oh.
If anybody in this world knows whether or not Haley Steinfeld will be in Avengers Doomsday, it's Josh Allen. Now, if we can strike a deal with Josh Allen where he wins the Super Bowl if he tells us.
Oh.
I don't know how we do this.
I don't think we need told.
Listen, if you want to finally overcome the Chiefs, all you got to do is tell us whether or not your fiance is in this movie. And we could just wait to find out in May, but this is urgent.
We don't. So we could wait, but also, here's the thing. She probably isn't in that movie.
You don't think the Young Avengers are popping up there?
There's so many people already in Doomsday. And
I know,
all it's doing is leading to Secret Wars. She will be in Secret Wars.
Yeah.
She's not going to be in Doomsday. I don't think. It doesn't make sense. Because most of the people popping up in Doomsday aren't our main universe characters anyways.
They're also going to die.
Right. Except for the main universe ones. So like Sam Wilson and main universe people. All of the, I want to say spoilers, but I mean the chair reveal thing was its own thing, so it's not. All of the X-Men characters are dead.
No?
They're dead. They're dead.
Oh yeah.
They're so dead. Doom is murking them all.
Miller, have you seen Thunderbolts?
No.
You haven't yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. I was just about to spoil that for Miller. I'm glad I didn't say anything.
Have you seen the poster that everybody's talking about with it, though, where it shows the original 6?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Well. There's a poster where each member of the Thunderbolts, their shadow is one of the original Avengers.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to know if Miller can guess.
Okay.
So start with Ghost. Who do you think Ghost is?
Oh, hold on. I'm going to get the easy ones out of the way. Yelena is Black Widow.
Yep.
I would assume John Walker's Cap.
Yep.
Red Guardian's probably Hulk then.
Yep.
Who else is in that group? Ghost. Who am I missing?
Bob.
Ghost
Is
Bob.
Bob Sentry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, Sentry is Thor.
Yes.
I forgot Sentry becomes a part of them. So then
And
Ghost and does Taskmaster count?
Bucky.
Because I know she dies.
Oof. But yeah, she's in the poster. Because
Okay,
it's
so
the
then I would
original
assume-
6.
Yeah.
Right? Am I miscounting somewhere?
Walker, Bob, Yelena,
Yeah, no,
Red
it's
Guardian,
oh no, it is just Ghost because it's Ghost,
Ghost,
and
I think Ghost
Bucky.
is
Bucky.
Clint.
Yeah.
yeah. So
she's not in it.
who's Bucky?
Taskmaster isn't in it.
Iron
I
Man?
don't even remember this one.
Whoa,
That's
that's
what it was.
odd.
Well,
It lines up for so many reasons, but also being the guy who killed Iron Man's parents and being it's just so funny to me. Like it lines up for real reasons, especially after you watch the show.
Yet? That's messed up. How
If
dare
you're
you?
spoiled by something from 11 years ago, I don't
I
care.
was gonna say, Civil
That
War
movie
was
is
the
not
first
11 years
MCU
old.
movie
That's
I
not
watched.
real.
Oh
That
no, it
movie is
wasn't.
not
I was
11.
thinking of
That's not real.
what's the one before that? Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Winter Soldier.
That movie is 9 years old.
Civil War?
2016. Yeah.
Because I was thinking of Civil War because it was 2014.
Anyway, yeah, Thunderbolts is good. That's my endorsement. Good movie.
Oh, Thunderbolts
Great
is
Marvel movie.
incredible.
Florence
I just
Pugh
have
is
to-
remarkable.
Best
I have to
M-
wait
love.
for I have
Best
to wait for my
MCU
sister
movie
to watch
since Winter
Endgame?
Soldier. Maybe the best MCU movie.
it. Ooh.
Yeah, so here's the thing about that is that like I'm a very big fan of Thunderbolts. You can here's the thing.
Yes.
You can hate me all you want for this. I am just so in love with Guardians 3. It is one of my I love
I
it's one of my
actively
favorite
think that's the
MCU
worst Guardians movie.
I
But
love
that's-
it so
we're all
much. I don't
allowed our
know
own
why.
opinions.
I think it's
So,
so
like,
good.
yeah.
I think it's so good.
Dude,
That's the only one that
unless
rivals
you're
it
out here
post
saying
Endgame.
Thor: The Dark World is good, I'm good with your
Listen,
opinions on
Also,
the
here's the thing.
MCU.
I'm putting this out there. Wasn't a fan of Wakanda Forever. Don't know why that one's in conversations for best in
I
10
haven't
game.
seen it.
I don't think.
Yeah, I don't-
Think it's,
I didn't think it
I
was
don't think
bad,
it's-
but I
it-
don't.
it-
It's not best
I
since
think
Endgame.
Shang-Chi is way better than
Yeah,
when
Shang-Chi
Wakanda Forever.
Hard. Love that movie.
yeah,
movie-
dude.
I can't wait to see him again in Doomsday. I can't wait for him to be
It
back.
was awesome.
That's gonna be dope. Anyway, I don't even know. What
Sorry,
else
we're supposed to talk about football.
Hold on, real quick. Just out of curiosity, do you guys know what I think is the best MCU movie? I can't remember if I've talked about it with
If you
guys.
say Thor: The Dark World, I'm canceling
It's
this
not.
podcast.
I have two guesses, but I think I'll be wrong.
Okay.
You think it's the first Avenger? Or are you just different?
Hold on, Jake.
One
What's
of
your
them
guess?
is. One of them is the first Avenger because you just retweeted something about that, and the second one is Infinity War because it's incredible.
Yeah, it's the first Avenger. That, in my opinion, that's the best MCU movie.
Interesting, because I don't even think that's
I love
the
that
best
movie.
Cap movie.
And I know, I know that's
Yeah.
the popular opinion that Winter Soldier is the best Cap movie. I don't know. I'm a history guy. I'm not like a World War II history guy, but I love period pieces, and I love the way that movie works. I love Steve and Bucky's relationship in that movie. I love in my opinion, peak MCU or peak superhero is always the superhero showing up and like enlisting or saving a ragtag group and then having them help. So like the Howling Commandos, them in that movie is one of my favorite things in all the MCU. I love that. And then I also love Steve and Peggy. Like
Yeah.
everything, and Howard Stark in that movie too. Like
I think we also have to be fair. Just because a movie is like maybe objectively better doesn't mean you enjoy it more. Because like one of my 5 favorite movies in the MCU, just by pure favorite, is Thor: Love and Thunder. It's an objectively shitty movie, but I love it. Like I know it's
Thor: Love
bad.
and Thunder.
a lot of people think it is.
Fair, but I know it's like objectively not a good movie, but I also love it.
I liked it a lot too.
I think Thor: Love and Thunder. The big things that still draw it for me. A is Christian Bale,
Fair.
and
Yeah.
that performance and that villain. B is the Screaming Goats. I can't get over the Screaming Goats. It's one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. And Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I think it's the worst Thor. It's not the worst Thor movie.
It's
No.
a top 2 Thor movie, which is
Yeah.
tough.
Okay, you want me to say? I'm just going to say something here. I have not seen Thor or Thor: The Dark World.
You don't
First two,
really need
completely
to.
out of mind. I have not seen them. I just know that one of them is regarded as one of the worst MCU
I
movies.
fell
if not the
asleep
worst.
during the Dark World, so I've never seen it all
I
the
have
way
seen
through.
Love and Thunder and Ragnarok. I love Ragnarok dearly.
Ragnarok
Um,
rocks.
good one. That was.
My only
Anyways.
complaint with that movie, and I know this is just my bias. It would be unrealistic for the MCU, but I wish Gore would have survived for more than one
Yes.
movie, just because Bale rocks.
True.
Dude, you can have villains live on. It's comics. Stop killing them in ways that are actually supposedly finite. Like,
Yeah.
you can kill them, but like leave it so that the door's kind of open because it's comics. That's how comics work.
Yeah.
Stop. Like,
Also, while we're on a movie tangent,
he's dead by cosmic being, and he's in cosmic land. He can't come back. That's dumb.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly debrief my viewing of the re-release of Revenge of the Sith.
Ah, yes.
Just putting this out there. Listen, I do not know as much about the production of Star Wars or who was involved with it, but the only gripe I have with Revenge of the Sith is the writing is just so horrendous at some points, and I just can't get over it. Because I know that Hayden Christensen is not a bad actor, but he feels like a bad actor, especially
See, but
when
then there's the entire like
Obi-Wan
scene of
first lands on Mustafar and they're first having the conversation. I know it's not Hayden Christensen, but it's awful.
I love it.
And
I don't think that
like
part's bad. There's so many other things I would have pointed to.
I will die on the hill that the bad writing for Anakin Skywalker is like crucial for his character.
Kind of.
Like, I unironically think that needs to be
because there's
part
still
of
a lot
Anakin,
of that in the
because
Clone Wars, even where he's got so much more aura.
His whole shtick is he was an emotionally stunted child who was brought up in a cult, and then
the cult is telling him he's going to save the entire universe.
And then on top of that, the whole bit about him being older than Jedi usually, or Padawans usually are when they're brought into the Order. So he was already starting to develop as a person and wasn't there for them to mold from day one. So you have he was, his emotions are starting to build, his little crush on Padme that turns into everything and whatnot. Like, that makes so much sense for him to not make sense. Like, I will stand by the I don't like sand monologue is the most beautifully written piece of monologue in all of Star Wars, just because it makes so much sense, because you have this dude who has no idea how to express his feelings, trying his best to tell this woman he loves her when he doesn't understand how and has never been told that it's okay to do so. So he said, this thing I hate, you're the opposite of that. That's good.
So
it's kind of childish, but I think it's perfect.
Then for the scene with the Jedi Council when he becomes a council member but not a master. If you've watched the Clone Wars, that shit makes so much more sense. He no longer sounds just like a whiny child. He's like, no, all of you motherfuckers are only alive because of me. The only reason the Republic still stands right now is me. I am that guy. The fuck are you talking about? I'm not ready. I just
have a question. And this is just purely a Star Wars canon question.
Okay.
Who on that console besides Obi-Wan and Yoda could even sniff Anakin in the fight?
Technically, Obi-Wan shouldn't be able to. That is entirely right.
We have evidence that he could.
Right.
But that's just
that is one of those, you know how there's always a bad player? It's like Eli and Tom Brady. It doesn't make sense why Eli just beats him all the time, but he does. Just the rule.
Yeah.
That is what Anakin and Obi-Wan. Mace Windu.
Is there?
Yeah.
Windu would smoke him.
To say, Mace Windu. I mean, took out the Chancellor.
That is because again, it's the same reason as Obi-Wan. It's the fighting style that leads Mace Windu to win. This is a really nerdy answer, but there's lightsaber forms. Mace Windu developed his own that is similar to the style that Sith use. But instead of using his inner darkness to make him a better duelist, he uses your darkness against you. So like every time Palpatine would reach farther into the dark side to fight him, it made Mace Windu stronger, which is why Anakin would lose, because he would do the same thing. He would get angrier. He would reach to the dark
side. What I'm hearing is that I should watch the YouTube video that was on my recommended page this morning. That was why.
Who made it?
I didn't see who it was, but it was just why.
It's Star Wars theory.
There's a couple other bad ones, but
it was a thumbnail of Anakin with a purple lightsaber that said, "What would have happened if Mace Windu had trained Anakin?"
That feels like a Star Wars theory one. Yeah. I wouldn't listen to it. But if Mace Windu trained Anakin wouldn't have fallen to the dark side. It's the same thing as with Qui-Gon, because he wouldn't have been a brother figure. He would have been a stern father figure, and no, that's not how this works. We're gonna figure this out the correct way. And not just kind of let Anakin get away with everything.
Yeah.
No, Mace would have been a perfect master for Anakin, like actually.
Which is why he wasn't his master.
Probably. Yeah. It had, it's the reason Qui-Gon died. Sorry. Palpatine was going to kill Qui-Gon no matter what. Qui-Gon was not living. Because Palpatine knew Qui-Gon was the definition of a Jedi, and that he would stop him from being able to manipulate Anakin. Qui-Gon was always dead.
Speaking of villains needing to survive more than one movie, I'm just devastated that Darth Maul doesn't get more than one. Devastated.
Well, he's Clone Wars, and he's getting his own show right now.
Yeah.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Second of all, I haven't seen the Clone Wars since I was a little baby boy.
You should watch it.
Go back. It's
totally
Sam Witwer as Maul is, oh my God.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Anyway,
also watch The Acolyte.
You'll get Star Wars.
It's so good. It has flaws.
I've seen one clip from The Acolyte, and it was the Wookiee Jedi getting possessed.
Oh yeah,
nuts!
That shit's fire.
Everybody, and I really thought that was cool.
I thought you were gonna say it was the guy headbutting a lightsaber, because that shit's fire too, dude. The Stranger, that is the title for that character, is the coolest character in all of Star Wars ever. I don't care. He's got so much aura.
Okay. Is that not the dude from Rebels?
No.
I thought people thought that guy was Ezra for a while.
No. Maybe.
No,
people are stupid, but no.
Takes place before Rebels,
but
right?
There were probably idiots who were like, he could have used the world between worlds and gone back, because people are stupid. So I'm not going to say you didn't see that. It's just that, no, that wasn't.
Okay, it might have been from The Acolyte, but there was a picture on Twitter that somebody captioned, "We really thought this was Ezra," and it was a dude with a red lightsaber and a mask with a red double lightsaber with a circle thing in the middle.
Oh, it was probably from Ahsoka, thinking one of the Inquisitors was...
Okay.
There's a lot of Star Wars media out right now. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw out, a Geek, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think another reason, Jake, just for the whole Anakin Obi-Wan thing, like their fight, a reason why it worked out so well with the whole lightsaber style thing is Anakin was very attack heavy. He was very fuck defense. I'm going to fuck you up and run through your face. Yeah. Whereas Obi-Wan is all defense. He only reacts. He does not strike first type thing. So Obi-Wan was able to just counter Anakin perfectly, and then the high ground.
I have a question.
You're 100%.
How much of that was Obi-Wan's fighting style, and how much of that was his just deep desire to not hurt Anakin?
All fighting style. You can so the main hint to that is when watching any duel, whether it's like Star Wars with lightsabers or like real life with swords, watch who is the one backing up all of the time. If you are the one retreating, you are the one losing. And watching that fight, Obi-Wan is losing that fight the entire time. But he's smart enough he is just playing defense, backing up, and waiting for his moment, which was the high ground. And that was him saying, I don't want to hurt Anakin. I have beat you, just give up. And Anakin didn't.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because Obi-Wan did the same thing to beat Maul that Anakin tries to do to him, and I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, I'm a nerd.
We went from Thunderbolts to Star Wars to the NFL. Here we are. Here we are.
It's May.
It's the off season. Who cares? I know we didn't talk about the draft, but I'm sure you guys have all talked about the draft on separate places. Is there anything about the draft you want to talk about?
Probably a good way to close the show is me and Miller giving draft thoughts.
Well, we can also talk about the schedule release because some of that has happened. We know some football.
Real quick, I want to know, just because I feel like it's a draft class that I haven't seen many people talk about in general. Geek, how did you feel about the Vikings 5 picks?
So I love Donovan Jackson.
Sure.
Absolutely love that pick. I know it was a little high. It also wasn't. We know the Texans were taking him at the next pick. It was, if we wanted him, we take him there. That's it. And I do think replacing Blake Brendel is very important. I think there is a world now where the Vikings are more than above average at every position on the offensive line. I also love the idea that if Darrisaw's not ready, you have a guy you can throw in at left tackle and you're not super fucked.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's not Darrisaw. Probably never will be at tackle. Of course. Darrisaw's one of the 3 best tackles in football? But like, I love that addition. After that, Ty Felton really signifies to me that Jordan Addison is gone. Whether it's through a trade this offseason or just he's just gone when his contract's up, Jordan Addison's gone. Which I'm very cool with. I'd be cool if you traded him now. But I also understand maybe not wanting to because first year J.J. McCarthy, give him the extra weapon. Yeah. Let Addison go next year. Fine. Because you do have a lot of time contract-wise because he's 3 years left on his rookie deal. You've got time. After that, I don't like a single one of their picks. I think there were better players at each position they picked. And all of the positions they picked really felt like you just kind of gave up because I almost guarantee none of those 3 guys will make the final 53.
I was going to say, like, I know we're talking about 5th and 6th round picks, but these, I'm asking primarily because those were 3 guys I did not get around to watching.
Yeah.
So
it bugs me more because there were guys I watched still on the board at those positions. Like, there were better players and better scheme fits, I think. So I think it really was just kind of the positions we want to take guys. There's no one we like that fits the things we need. So we're just going to take dudes that we liked. And if they don't work out, who cares? They were 5th and 6th round picks. But I hate it.
Yeah.
I can't give the Vikings like a true F grade because I think Felton and Jackson were good picks, but like to only have 5 picks and to only walk out with 2 guys that will make the roster isn't great.
I was going to say, I really like Felton.
Yeah.
He was one of my guys. Kind of sucks that he went to Minnesota.
But it's also good because they know how to develop receivers.
Yeah.
Like, you got to think of it from his perspective. This is great because he won't be bad.
Sure.
Keenan McCardell's going to cook.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess
Green Bay.
I would have to be refreshed on most of the picks, to be honest. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, you don't have your computer. I'm sorry.
I got it.
I don't have my computer on me. But Matthew Golden, we'll start with the 1st round pick. Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
I love it. I was torn between him and Luther Burden. I didn't really care which one it was, as long as it was one of them. I don't know. Matthew Golden is explosive. He is a remarkable deep threat. He stretches the field. He's fast as anyone. And so, yeah, I mean, I really don't hate it. I think that it signifies that they're actually serious at receiver, which I think is always good. I do know that, like, there's got to be some changes in the receiver room. Like, they're all whiny diva babies for the most part. Like, Jaden Reed had to have a sit down to make sure that he was still in the wide receiver 1 after they drafted him with Mark Murphy and everybody. And Romeo Dobbs and Dontavian Wicks were yapping after Josh Jacobs said they needed a wide receiver 1, which is absolutely true. But they were like, oh, well, this guy, he doesn't think we have a wide receiver 1. Like,
we've got 6 of them.
Yeah. Dontavian Wicks, you can go. Most targets on the team last year, led the NFL in drops. You're gone. See ya. Bye. You don't. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know why he led the receiver. Led the team in targets. I don't know why that happened. But yeah,
everyone
after that,
hurt.
I completely completely blanking on names. I know
Anthony Belton from NC State, the tackle.
Didn't watch him. Not gonna lie to you. My tackle
is big and strong and kind of a dick. So
that's what I got. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
And I mean, like, a dick is in, like, he spits in people's faces and shit.
Yeah, I mean that makes
might
sense.
be good for a tackle.
Tevin Jenkins type beat.
Tevin
like that.
spitting in anybody's face.
Then they took Savion Williams.
Yeah, Savion Williams.
I love Savion. Savion is I think he's going to be a good guy. He's a good gadget guy. I think he's definitely, I mean, he's got some serious juice as a route runner too. His hands aren't great, but he's got some serious juice as a route runner. He's good off the ball, good off release. Jaden Reed felt threatened by Savion Williams apparently too, which is part of the reason why he had the meeting with Brian Gutekunst. So
don't get taking Savion Williams when you already have like 4 gadget guys.
Because, well, I don't know. They need somebody who will actually be good.
Now with Savion,
every wide receiver you have not named Matthew Golden can be considered a gadget guy.
Romeo Dobbs
even Matthew Golden can be considered a gadget guy.
He's just my point with that was more that you don't have like legit starters at wide receiver. I was saying that everyone is just kind of does something. Because in my eyes, like in my mind, I know this isn't what a gadget guy is, but in my mind for a minute I got that title confused with a one-trick pony. Because that's what all your receivers are.
Yeah.
Not gadget guys.
I think Romeo Dobbs legitimately has the chops to be a
Dobbs is good.
Matthew Golden needs to be a gadget guy. He needs to line up everywhere because if he plays only outside receiver wearing 22, his career's already over.
I was gonna say I don't think he has to be it, but it would be.
He needs to change his number. If he wants to be just an outside receiver, pick a real number.
Yeah, Savion Williams will change his number. That dude's basically a running back.
I think he will.
They're not printing a 22 jersey yet because he doesn't seem fully sold on 22.
I don't think they should print any rookie jerseys yet, like any of them. Too many guys change their jersey too early.
I think they should for the sole reason that like. I kind of like the novelty of getting a number for a player that they never were. Like, it's really hard.
You want to buy a Luther Burden 87? Yeah.
It's really hard for me not to get a Luther
Why do people think 87's a bad number? It's driving me nuts.
Because
it's not a bad number. It's just weird seeing it on him. It's just weird seeing it on him. Not that it's a bad number.
We forget Reggie Wayne.
Weird seeing it on him.
The only thing I will say is I can get it if you're like he's slot speedy receiver, he should have a smaller number like that. I can get if you're someone that's like, but I'm saying like,
does everybody not know Bernard Berrien? Did we forget this man?
That. Right,
Bears legend, Vikings legend.
He doesn't have a great rep in Chicago.
Really? Why?
He was here for like 2 years and was mid.
Well, he was always mid. He was there for more than 2 years.
Right, but like,
wasn't he? Am I high? One of us is high.
He was more of a.
No, he spent 1, 2, 3 years. He spent 4 full seasons in Chicago.
Oh, he was there longer than he was in Minnesota. I'll be.
Yeah. Well, no, they were there the exact same amount of years.
Oh, Wikipedia lied to me. That's
so 04 to 07, but that's 4 years because 04, 05, 06, 07, and then 08 to 2011. So.
Yeah.
But last year in Chicago, first year in Minnesota were like the same.
Yeah. Either way, I think it's silly that people are upset about Burden. I think it's really silly that people are using it as an excuse to slam Bronco Nagurski, and every time I see it, I want to find their name and home address.
I do think number retirements are weird in football to a degree. I stand by. I want more teams to just do the LSU thing with number 7 and just say, fuck it. Instead of retiring a number, you only get this number if you're like either like a top pick or already really good. Like the Cowboys do with 88. CD, you are going to wear 88 because you are the guy, right? I want whoever the next safety the Vikings draft high, who is supposed to be the Harrison Smith replacement, give him 22.
See, I disagree with that just because the thing that my brain immediately goes to as a Bears fan is making a running back wear 34. That doesn't feel right. Making a linebacker wear 51. That makes me sick to my stomach. I get it for
certain players, but there's also the Bears have a lot of number retirements. Who I'm not saying the players aren't legends because they are, but it also feels like if the Vikings retired number 93 for Kevin Williams, he's a legend, but also he doesn't deserve that. Like he does, but he does. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like it feels like truly retired and never worn again should be the very best of the very best. Like I don't like seeing somebody else wear 28 at all. I don't like seeing somebody wear 84. But those are not just Hall of Famers. Those are top 5 in their position ever type guys.
The only thing with that for Chicago is, like, I'm looking at the numbers here that we have retired. There's maybe 2 that I can see that argument for, but Walter Payton, Gale Sayers, 2 of the 10, 15 best running backs of all time. Dick Butkus, in my opinion, the greatest Mike linebacker of all time. Sid Luckman, 1 MVP, Bears' only Hall of Fame quarterback. Bronco Nagurski, one of the greatest Bears of all time. Red Grange, one of the greatest Bears of all time and the NFL's first true superstar. George Halas retired for the owner. Makes sense to me. Mike Ditka.
Is that a number or
7? Yeah, George Halas played for the Bears first couple years.
Was he even mediocre?
I don't know. I wasn't alive in the 1940s to have, or the 1920s.
Retiring it just because, the owner wore that number is not fair. That's just really gross. Like I played, so I deserve to have my number. No, you don't.
Oh, he didn't retire it.
If it got retired after he took ownership, he retired it. And it definitely did.
His family wanted to retire it for him, and he didn't push back on it. Because he was like, sure.
Gross.
Okay, as much as I'm loving this jersey retirement discourse, Miller, how did you feel about the Bears draft class?
I love day 1 and day 2, and then day 3, I have no idea how to feel. So, like, Loveland, perfect fit. Yep. Makes so much sense. That is just Sam Laporta again. The only thing I don't like about the Loveland pick is the idiotic discourse it's created around Kmet.
I think the
people
thing
think they can't coexist for some reason.
The thing that creates discourse to me is also drafting Burton, because one of your best players never gets to see the field. That's just a rule. You cannot have all of them on the field at the same time, and that's really dumb.
Yeah, you can. You can.
So just no running back. You good on running back?
Yeah, Geek, who's our number 1 running back? Do you really want Swift on the field?
I don't know, but by having no running back on the field, cool, you're passing.
No,
thanks.
Listen, Luther Burden and DJ Moore can carry the football. As far as I'm concerned, Luther Burden RB1. But no, like, in all seriousness, the way I look at it, this year, I do love Kyle Monangai. I'll talk about him in a second. But this year, the way it's going to work is your starters, it's going to be Kmet at tight end with DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and then Burden is your slot, right? You're going to see Loveland and Burden rotate in the slot. You're going to see Kmet and Loveland rotate at tight end. You're going to see them play 12 personnel. You're going to see them come out in 5 wide, and then they'll, have ways to run the ball out of that with Burden or DJ Moore. It's Ben Johnson. I have faith that he will find a way to get those guys enough snaps. Now, yeah, sure, somebody's going to be the odd man out, and realistically, it's probably going to be Burden and Kmet as the guys that get lesser snaps as the year goes on. But I guarantee those guys are still integral to what happens with the offense, and that's what matters at the end of the day.
It just, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where I understand. Okay, the Loveland pick you're making for great reason. I understand it. The Burden pick, it's not a bad pick because you picked by far the best player available. I'm not going to argue that. It's just also like, man, when you have so many needs and there are guys that can fill holes that you have, maybe don't take a bench player.
See,
it's just the most dumbass Ryan Poles idea, but it's going to work because Burden's a good player. Like, I don't hate the pick because of the player or even the fit. It's just like, man, I know you're higher on a lot of Bears players than I am.
I don't think they have nearly as many holes as you're making it out.
Yeah, man, Austin Booker wouldn't start on another NFL team, but I know you're in love with him, so I'm not
starting in Chicago right now.
Who's your other starting edge?
Ayo Dengbo.
Okay. the guy who couldn't start for the Colts, who don't have an edge rusher. Good.
He did start for the Colts.
Oh, so he just sucked.
How much Dio film did you watch last year? How much of Dio did you watch? Tell me.
Yeah, I know.
For you to be able to say he sucks.
Okay, dude. His impact is not very high, and it's easy to know that. Yeah, I didn't go break down every rep he took. You're right.
Listen.
I didn't do what you did. You're right.
He wasn't... Okay, I'm just saying, he wasn't super productive, but the idea with Dio is he's an ascending young defensive player who fits exactly what Dennis Allen wants. He's the jumbo DN that Dennis Allen always wants.
I don't know. You're just high on him in the same way that you judge me for still thinking Jeff Okudah can be good for. He's young, but he's also been in the league 5 years and has never shown a flash of actually being that good. So maybe he's not actually good.
Okay. First of all, to say he's never shown a flash of being good is ridiculous. He had 8 sacks 2 years ago. Like, that's a productive season for I'm not going to say rotational, but for a guy who doesn't start 100% of snaps.
But we also talk shit on Patrick Jones because he did the same thing.
I don't talk shit on Patrick Jones.
Well, I mean, we talk shit on, the Panthers really gave him so much money. It's like he did the same thing as Dio.
I was going to say, I didn't call that a bad signing for the Panthers.
Well, somebody did on this show.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me either.
Either way, the point is, you look at the guys that were available at that point on day 2, like, I guess Nick Scorton would have been cool, but other than that, there's no one there that I'm not getting mad at taking Burden over Princely. I'm sleeping soundly at night.
I don't know. That's
okay with me. You also got to remember, Burden for me was the 11th best player in the class.
No, I don't disagree there. I had Burden definitely in my top 15. I don't know exactly where.
Like I
actually he might have been in my top 10. I just I get BPA, but also I just don't like taking a guy who's going to get 37% of my snaps.
I think it'll be higher than that.
Okay. Then I don't like taking a guy. Okay. Or taking a guy where my first round pick now only gets 30% of snaps, or the tight end I'm paying $15 million only gets 30% of snaps. It's not a bad pick. It's not even bad process. It's just, I don't like it, but I get it if that makes sense.
I will put this out there as well. Not that I'm saying I am necessarily in belief of this, but there is some like credibility to this. There is a world where this is insurance for DJ Moore if his effort does not increase in 2025.
That's fair.
Because Ben Johnson has been pretty apparent in the whole no block, no rock philosophy. And, you know, DJ Moore did have some issues last year. Now, I understand those issues completely. It was a fucking disaster. And personally, I can't blame the guy for not giving 135% every down when Shane Waldron is telling him to run loop-de-loops and hop, skip, jump, and piss on a fire hydrant.
I want to say I agree, but, like, you're getting paid $40 million to play a game. Play the fucking game.
No, I'm not saying that DJ's without blame. I'm just saying I understand it, but I
understand certain moments a lot more than I will never understand the going to the bench in the middle of the play thing. I would have traded him in that moment.
Got hurt.
Except he was out the next play. He walked back on the field.
When he walks off the field, he hobbles. He is hopping off the field. They checked his ankle. He ended up being good. He just needed it taped
before
up.
Another play was ran. They didn't call a timeout. He was back before the next play started.
Seconds. Listen, that's why he went off early to get that settled so he could be back for the next play. Second of all, Caleb had rolled out to the right and there were 3 receivers on the right. He was not part of the play at that point.
If you're telling me you've never seen Caleb throw crossbody all the way across the field, then you've never watched Caleb and you didn't deserve to draft him.
I have. And I understand he's capable of that. But in DJ Moore's mind, he's not thinking, oh, shit, this kid can really do that, but my ankle hurts real bad. He's thinking, I'm going to go get myself ready for the next play because I think he's going to throw it to one of the 3 guys that are open over there.
I don't know, man.
But with the other Bears pick, love the Ozzy Trapillo pick or Trapillo. I always want to say Trapillo because I'm imagining 2 L's. There's one, it's Trapillo. I love that pick because Braxton Jones, his days are numbered. And also he's technically just not healthy right now. Like,
has he ever been?
He's going to be ready for week 1. No, I know we do this all the time. He's coming off like a severe injury that happen at the end of the
I
year.
swear he always is. Every week it's a severe
I
injury.
Listen, now that we have insurance, I don't have to pretend anymore.
Bro used to just
I've
lie.
been freed from my shackles. But I like that pick a lot. Shamar Turner is someone that I love. I've had one each of the last 2 years, a Nnamdi Madubuike light comp, where it's just like I can see this dude being Nnamdi because he's a really good pass rusher, really energetic, high motor, aggressive type of player that has upside as a run defender. Last year it was Ruka Rororo. It hasn't worked out super well yet. But Shamar Turner, I love. I know there's the video of him punching the dude in the dick, but like that kind of goes hard. I love that. That's what I need out of my defensive lineman.
Okay.
But then after that, Ruben Hippolyte, I don't love that pick. I see the vision for it because Dennis Allen wants a hybrid player that can get to the quarterback, and Hippolyte is an absurd athlete, but he's a 24-year-old project linebacker. That probably would have been available in the 6th round. So that was the only pick where I don't like it. Then Zaw Frazier, I just didn't like as much as a lot of people. That one's fine. I get it. He's big, he's athletic, but he's also a 24-year-old developmental prospect. I don't love that. And then Luke Newman's whatever. The 6th round lineman, I can't be mad at that. And then Kyle Monungai was one of the bigger steals of the draft. I thought he was just as good as that dude that the Patriots drafted that everyone was in love with, that I didn't like as much.
I feel like every running back.
What?
Who's the Patriots draft? Who's the Patriots draft?
Henderson.
Oh, Trayvon's right.
Yeah, I had the same grade on Monungai, or the same grade as Henderson as I did Monungai.
Well, that changes my point.
like,
Because I was going to say, I feel like
late
every
pick.
running back was a steal, but Henderson wasn't.
No. Yeah, Henderson went a couple. So the Bears, one of the reasons why they traded down with their 2nd pick apparently was because they wanted Henderson. And then the Patriots took him, which shout out to New England. They saved me from thick DeAndre Swift.
Dude, I'm so mad at the draft. Jake, you weren't there for day 2. Or did we watch some of day 3? No, Miller just texted me about stuff on day 3.
Yeah.
Because it was nearing the end of the 3rd, so we were within like 10 picks of the Vikings, and Azarie and Caleb Johnson were both still on the board, and I was like, holy fuck, there's a chance we get one of them. Oh my God. And as soon as I said that, the Jets traded up for Azarie, and then the Steelers took Caleb, and it's like, all right, man.
Where did your other boy go?
The Jets. That's why I'm wearing a Jets jersey, because
Malachi Moore went to the Jets too?
dude.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Because that's why, because me and me and Jackson got into this 2 weeks ago on here. That's why I have the Jets. Like, the Seahawks to me had the best draft, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But like, to me, and I know it's not to you and it wasn't to Jackson either, but to me, I have the Jets up there really far too. And that's just because Malachi and Azarie were both, to me, 1st round talents. Like, that's what they look like to me. And you got them in the 3rd and 5th round. Yeah, you win. Especially, like, if they turn out to what they could be, yeah, they won. They win. Jets win. I hate it. Awful.
Yeah.
Hate the Jets.
The Seahawks are incredible. I also love the Patriots draft outside of Henderson.
I was also really
Yeah.
surprised by the Cowboys just picking good players.
Yeah, that was a
They
shit.
did do that, yeah.
That was a very not
Yeah.
Jerry Jones draft.
Also, Carolina's draft was nice. Ted,
yeah.
Scorton,
Yes.
Mamelin. ETN was
Jimmy
a reach,
Horn.
but other than that, Jimmy Horn was a nice pick. Mitch Evans in the 5th was a nice pick.
Mitch Evans is
Lathan
good.
Ransom. I like Lathan Ransom.
Did either of your teams give anybody like a rookie minicamp invite that you're really intrigued by?
No.
The Bears signed some dude from Stephen F. Austin this morning. Some corner.
And you're intrigued by him, or?
No, that's just the first thing that came to mind because they invited him.
Oh.
Or because they signed him.
I am really rooting for somebody that the Vikings brought to rookie minicamp. There's no way he makes the team. If he does, I think we might have to scream nepotism, but also okay. Because Montego Moss got invited to the Vikings rookie minicamp. And he was like in tears talking about how excited he was, and not just because my dad played here, but apparently the Vikings were the only team to call and give him a chance. And it's like, man, I love those stories, so I want you to be really good. Not even the Randy Moss thing, just this was the only place that gave me a chance, man. If he makes the roster, he's the only guy who's allowed to wear 84.
Yeah. My favorite story that came out of Bears camp so far is Shamar Turner. To get to and from the field, everyone rode on carts, and he refused. He wanted to walk because he wanted to take everything in.
Nice.
And I think that's awesome. That made me happy.
His Texas A&M teammate is doing the opposite in Cincinnati so far of working hard, seeing as he's done nothing because he's holding out because they're not offering him enough on his rookie deal. So Shamar Stewart, shout out to Mr.
They've got him holding out, and then Hendrickson also apparently they just stopped talking to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the Bengals owner ran out of money again.
Edge rushers in Cincinnati. Sam Hubbard retired.
The big 2020.
Everything is bad. Everything is bad.
Murphy. Remember when everyone?
Yeah, I mean,
do you guys remember that?
True.
That was so funny because he's bad at football.
He is currently, yeah.
I can't remember. None of them. I know I didn't, but you guys weren't also knew the truth, right? I can't remember.
Nope. Yes.
I didn't think so.
But yeah, I mean, draft talk. You guys heard Jackson yap about it last week. I'm sure his analysis was a lot better than ours. But yeah, that's the NFL.
Me and Jackson yapped a lot.
Anybody have any last blows to cast before we?
Yeah, I feel so bad for Kevin Stefanski.
I do, dude. I do, but I don't.
He's already getting asked dumb questions.
I thought you meant just for having to draft Shedeur. It's like, no. I'm sorry that you got to draft the only decent quarterback on your roster.
No, it's just funny.
Did you see?
The thing I'm talking about is there was a clip from
the dumb question
where he got asked why Dylan Gabriel got to practice before Shedeur. He was like, because Dylan got drafted first. They got the same amount of reps today. I don't understand why this matters.
Yeah, no.
There was also the Browns reporter. Dylan Gabriel was doing like his press conference, and he gets off stage, and there's this Browns reporter that's just like standing on stage, and he just keeps mouthing to everybody in the crowd, "I'm taller than him."
Oh my god!
He just keeps over and over again. He just went, "I'm taller than him," and he would look at a different person and go, "I'm taller than him." And he would just look at another person and be like, "I'm taller than him," like pointing towards Dylan Gabriel. It's a mess. They ruined every bit of it.
Yeah, the media stuff is dumb. I from what I've seen of actually Shedeur, not people talking about Shedeur, dude, I think he doesn't care.
He's gonna be fine.
Like, Dylan got reps first. Cool. I just have to outperform him. And
I was gonna say that means nothing.
Right, like he does not give a shit. He's just like, I'm just gonna go work and win this job probably because Dylan Gabriel exists.
He wasn't a great leader in Colorado. He does bring a certain vibe.
Yeah.
That the Browns desperately need in a locker room, which is
confidence
just
of any kind.
Positive and confidence. Yeah, he's a confident, optimistic, just positive dude who like. They just need somebody in there who's not like, "Oh my god, my life is over. Yeah. I can't believe I'm on the Cleveland Browns."
Yeah, bro, you've got Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco.
He'll get there. Right,
he might not. What if he's just good? I don't mean great. I don't mean like. What if he's just good?
I'm not relating this to his skill. I'm relating this to just how Cleveland will break him.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if he's good, maybe Cleveland doesn't break him. Maybe Shedeur fixes Cleveland. Hey, all they need is mediocrity, and they'll be all right.
I was gonna say, I think Shedeur could be fine, but I think it's gonna take a miracle worker to fix Cleveland. That's gonna take Watson's contract being off the books, the power of Christ, and a top 10 quarterback to fix their sins.
Maybe.
They can get two.
Browns fans hate Mason Graham, by the way.
Which is so funny. He's so good at football.
Apparently he puked
in
at practice,
when they were off.
and that's
over.
over.
They were out on him.
I
He puked in
mean,
practice and they were out on him.
Come on, man. What are you puking about? You're a professional athlete, and it's your first day of practice.
True.
Have you not been training since the combine?
He's nervous. His tummy hurt.
If you're nervous for your first day of practice, you're screwed the first time you
No,
step
I
on
know
the
what
field.
He probably got to take.
He ate somewhere in Cleveland?
No.
Yeah.
No. He was practicing, and one of the coaches was like, all right, so remember, you're going to hit this dummy, but when it comes practice time, we don't want you to hit the quarterbacks like Joe or Dylan or Kenny or Deshaun. And as soon as they said Deshaun, he just, everything in his stomach on the ground.
It also doesn't help for Browns fans that, like, the footage coming out of Kenneth Grant, that's what's really pissing them off, is that Mason Graham is puking at practice and Kenneth Grant looks fucking insane. So they're like, oh, we really drafted this guy? And it's like, well, just wait. Or maybe don't. Kenneth Grant might be better. Totally possible.
I refuse to believe it'll happen. I'm so in on Mason Graham. I think Kenneth Grant will be a really good NFL D tackle. That's not a shot at him at all. I'm just so in on Mason Graham. That man will be a top 5 D tackle.
The Browns are going to ruin every pick except Mason Graham. Sure.
I was going to say they're good with defensive linemen.
That's fair.
We know that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Miles Garrett's going to teach him the method because they're going to be teammates forever now because Miles Garrett stole all of the money.
True.
So he's going to show us the method.
For stealing all the money?
Oh,
Jesus Christ. I'm going to send you guys a video of Draymond.
Okay.
I don't know if he got kicked out. But...
Yes, one last.
Jackson Dart in the first round was a worse pick than Michael Penix in the top 10.
Did you see the video of him in practice? Horrible. People hated on Shador for tapping the ball. Jackson Dart's spinning the fucker before every pass. Nah, dude.
He's got so much aura. So much aura.
Negative aura. Least aura of any quarterback in the NFC.
Is a direct representation of how these younger QBs grew up watching Rodgers.
To be fair, if Cam Ward did that, people would be calling it aura. Just because it would fit into his nonchalant attitude.
Sure.
You might be right, but I don't want to believe you.
I don't even care about this football. I might even just spin it in my hand before I throw it.
Right. I was going to say, that's not me trying to defend Dart in any way. I just know if Cam Ward did that, people would be like, God, he's so cool.
Oh, look how disassociated I am with this football.
I feel so weird being the only person who doesn't like Cam Ward.
I am neutral to Cam Ward.
Neutral.
I just feel weird just being the only person who's like, I really don't see anything. The post that they made, like Aura, just him in the practice jersey one, it's like, no.
You're not Warren, dude.
Right? It's like, no.
I will say, though, I do think it's hilarious that Warren Moon just gave him his jersey and didn't tell anybody beforehand.
I love it in terms
of really funny.
Him just being like, well, I didn't play for the Titans, so this actually doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because
it's
he's
really
so
funny
right.
just imagining Warren Moon just scheming this whole thing. Like, I'm going to bust into that press conference and make him wear the number. It isn't even a choice.
Imagine Cam Ward was like planning to wear 7. He was cool with it.
Like, Cam Ward was going to change his number, and he was about to announce it, and then Warren Moon's just before him holding the jersey.
I object. Check this jersey out.
Hey, you got to take this. You got to wear this. He's like, imagine, I couldn't possibly.
Imagine if he would have done that, and Cam Ward would have been like, actually, I'm good, man. I'm wearing 3.
There was a solid
college is the only thing available.
There was a solid chance that Warren Moon walks in and Cam Ward's just like, no, I'm okay.
I'm all right.
I don't care about the number 1.
Who are you? Who's this guy?
Who are you? That would have been insane.
It's probably what he was thinking. He didn't say it.
Vikings legend Warren Moon.
Like, Warren Moon? You're not Aaron Rodgers.
You're not
doing here.
You're not Madden. Who are you?
You're not Madden.
Imagine he was going to wear 17 to carry on. Wait, no. He would have worn 9 to carry on the legacy of the best quarterback in Tennessee. My brain forgot about McNair for a second.
Oh yeah.
It is
The-
sad
the
that
Jets
second best
didn't-
Titans QB of all time is Tannehill.
The Jets didn't draft a quarterback this year. I'm solely convinced because they signed Justin Fields and didn't draft somebody solely because none of them were in Madden yet, and that's apparently what Woody Johnson does.
Imagine.
They were just like, his son's just like, oh, you're really gonna take Jalen Milroe? He isn't even in Madden. Like, and Woody Johnson's like, all right, off the board. This Shadur kid.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's about all we got. So yeah, I hope the Timberwolves are winning for Geek's mental health. We'll leave it at that. I don't know what's going on over there in Minnesota right now, but I hope they're winning for Geek's mental health.
Now they're up by 12. Never mind. 2 minutes ago, they were up by 3.
12. Positive note to end the show on.
Julius Randle, you're insane.
And Julius Randle is good. Anyway, we want to thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Run North Podcast. If you did enjoy it, listening on Spotify, give us a rating and review. If you're watching over on YouTube, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.